started with inside-out turning in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. The first time that I saw it, Palmer Sharpless had turned a Christmas tree out of 4 pieces of wood. Actually, 1 piece of wood, and he cut it into 4 pieces afterwards. He didn't originate it either. A fellow from Canada, Giles Gilson? No, Stephen Hogben.
Yeah.
Stephen Hogben cut a lot of his work. I turned this. Okay. I always start with 4 separate pieces of wood, just like that. And I'm going to get into how I hold it a little bit later. But so I turned this, and I turned one side. And what I want to do with this piece is I want to turn every other one around, so that the window is not that, but the window is that. So that to me is just kind of an interesting kind of a shape. I was doing some of these back, and I was calling them my propeller series. You can see one back there. They're more propeller-like. But this one, I didn't really do a lot of drawing on this piece. Half might look like. I didn't like the first couple of drawings, and so then I ended up with this. Okay, we're going to do 2 completely different styles, and that just meaning nice coves and curves, and then really sharp, straight, angular lines. And I think the 2 of them kind of look pretty interesting together. I'll pass this one around. No, I'll keep that one. We need to measure every prominent point from left to right, and from the outside diameter to the depth of cut. Wooden chucks, one for the faceplate and one for the tailstock. I didn't have a 4-jar chuck at that time, and so I needed a way to hold those 4 pieces together. Mike Darlow from Australia wrote a book, called me up and said, "Hey, can I use some of your inside-out images for this magazine?" I said, "Sure, go ahead." Lay a plastic square so that it sits on the 2 sides, and they just keep going around. And there's your 3-inch square hole for this. What I do is I go a little bit small. No, I started out 3 inches, and the bottom of the hole is a little bit less than 3 inches. So they're tapered by it. So one of the things you're going to want to do with this is mark your 4 sides, because we're going to take this apart. We're going to hold it up to the drawing and see how well we match the drawing. Then we can put it back together, put it back in the lathe, and tighten it up again.
Sorry, what are you marking here, Mike?
This is the ends of the design. It's this tip of the wing and this tip of the wing, and the design's going to fit right in there. A little bit better. That cut that I just did there is just kind of angled down. Eventually I want to go straight in with that, but not just yet. What I want to do here is I want to get down to almost a cylinder. So I want to have a cylinder with flats on 4 sides. Those flat surfaces are going to allow me to measure my depth of cut. I can do it a different way, but that's just the easiest way to measure my depth of cut. A little bit more yet, and get those flats to be just a little bit smaller. Oh, incidentally, this is mahogany for a good reason. Mahogany is just really easy to work. one of those flats. That's in the way. I'm just going to get that out of the way. And I could measure that. I'm just going to eyeball that. It points towards the outside, so I'm going to take this tool and you can grind the tool. I mean, if your pattern is two sides, you can grind your tool to fit the pattern. This is a little bit narrow, which is okay. When it gets down to it, this is really basic wood turning. It's just beams and toes mostly. Getting them in the right position, the right order. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So most of this gets ground in with a round nose scraper. That round nose scraper is like the perfect shape for the head there. And yours aren't too bad. One's a little bit longer than the other. But what you can do then is you can lay this on your drawing and see how well you did. Of the back. Different measurements, different shapes. So I have numbers on here. That's number 4, lining up with number 4 here. we're just connecting the dots here. God bless you. And then a nice pointed spindle out. So if you're not very good, if you don't think you're very good at eyeballing shapes, you could, in effect, take this drawing and at every 1/4 inch, measure your depth of cut. And just go in every 1/4 of an inch and you get a cut, mark, and all the way across. Then your connecting the dots is much shorter. Thank you. So we'll take one of those and one of these. Cool. So when it gets down to it, all we really need to have is a fairly simple drawing. Split it right down the middle with a pencil line, measure everything off. Totem pole, like all the different clubs across the country, a bunch of clubs made like an 18-inch segment for these totem poles, and I was asked to do an inside-out turning. So what I did for that was this. Can anyone see? I mean, not everybody sees what this is.
The female what?
But not everyone sees that. But that's what that is. That's a female nude.
Female what?
So
Female what?
a nude. It's a Venus de Milo. No arm. Before.
Do you remember demonstrating that before?
Oh, yeah.
Demo?
Yeah. Here's.